What is up, everyone? We are back with another episode of Bullish's Top Stocks to watch for the week and why. Before we get into it, as always, hey, these are only my opinions. Do your own due diligence. The other thing, hey, give us a sub here on YouTube. Help me feel good about myself. Also, real underscore bullish wherever you get your social media poison. Also, just start a website, real bullish, all one word.com. Go ahead and sign up for our newsletter. I'll send you a little bit of knowledge. Just starting some blog newsletter, maybe sell some merch along the way, just for fun. Just spice it up a little bit. But anyway, jumping into it, hopefully you can see my screen, but I'm gonna go through, I think it's two new ones though, maybe one new one and the rest are kind of recycles. I'm gonna go through four in total: apps, Fisker, Synchrony Financial, and Celanese. I think I'm saying that right. But anyways, we already talked about apps last week. Digital Turbine, otherwise known as. For the first part of it, go to my last episode, and I give a semi bold thesis. I was basically watching it for a couple weeks now, but I wanted to see what I was going to do with the ER that they just had late last Monday or Tuesday. Basically, they had earnings. They beat guidance on, or sorry, they beat revenue. They beat earnings per share. Their guidance was a little bit muted or conservative. They planned on for the next quarter 300 million to 306 million for revenue, and that's pretty conservative. But I think a lot of companies are playing it more conservative to kind of maybe overperform because they really don't know how the later part of the year is going to go down with Delta variant and things of that nature. So I think that's to be expected. But great earnings overall. Same quarter year over year growth of 260%. Wow, for revenue. So that's looking at the same quarter last year. Earnings per share growth of 162%, same quarter year over year. That's amazing as well. I thought it was, a lot of good stuff to like about it. I try to look at technicals and fundamentals. I'm more of a fundamental player in the superficial world. Like I can't yet go into a balance sheet or cash flow statement and really decipher it, but I can get dangerous with to figure out where things are anomalies and where you can watch out with. But when I looked at the earnings, I thought they were okay. The only thing that I did notice, still the forward price to earnings is a little bit high, but it's all relative to industry. I think it's like 35 or so. So that's forward price to PE ratio. So that's something to watch out for. They just had a recent acquisition, three in subsequent order. They had fiber. Fiber appreciates, I think it's called an ad colony. So those, when I look at the balance sheet, looking at this quarter, seeing their debt going up a little bit, I think that they have to do some of that to finance. But I think that there's a lot of really good synergies and tailwind coming for apps. But anyways, though, that's why I was watching it. But also, you have to marry up technical and fundamentals to get a really good idea of where the company is not just going, but where it's been, but also where it's going. And this one's going in the gutter if you look at the technical charts. Take the great earnings out of the equation. It's basically in a downward, sloping, descending area of resistance, right? You see on the month level, and this is how I had to look month, week, day level. If you look at the month level, you definitely see RSI. I'll just go, RSI is going down. For a write up on RSI, like I said, real bullish. Sign up for my newsletter. I'll send you a quick write up on RSI. Hopefully, it's helpful to people. It was a lot of fun making it though, and I'm gonna keep more coming up like MACD and all that good stuff, just like things that I use and things that I think would be helpful. MACD, to that point, is pinching on the month level to be a little bit more bearish as well. The 10 EMA here was acting as an area of support over a couple months, maybe the past 3 months. It's bust through that. So at the month level, it's very sell-offish. And this is like I say, hey, I'm watching these, not necessarily playing them, but I'm watching them because it's a very interesting company to me. I am a marketer. I love what they're doing with advertising. They have 700 million installed devices, and they're only seeing that as 19% of the total addressable market. So there's a lot of upside, 81% upside to kind of penetrate that market completely. So a lot of money still left on the table. At the week level, though, if you look at it, after their highs of, let's say, they had a high around the week of 311, you definitely see RSI just kind of floating, meandering down right at the week level. You see MACD being pretty fucking bearish as well. You see the strong red candle busting through this 10 EMA, busting through the 50. So I have 10, 50, and I have 10, 25, 50, and 200. It's busting through three of them. Will it get to the 200? I don't know, but I know that, previously, and I'll break it down a little bit more, this area has been an area of support since 510. This, let's call it 54 area. I'll get deeper into it right now, but hopefully we can see some you know, areas there that can be seen as support. It's basically busting through all the support that I can find. But I did see this really, really hard sell off on 511, and I think it's racing to this line. What I do notice though, and that it was a little intriguing to me, is it's decreasing bearish volume over the since the ER announced and since then, but all over average. So people are really selling this motherfucker off. But also on Friday, you did see over average even from the previous day. Sometimes you see decreasing areas of selling volume, and then you'll have day under average, and then maybe you'll see a reversal for some bullish volume for some greens. That didn't happen here, and it just got increasingly bearish. On the sell-offs. On Monday, 4.3 million shares traded. So man, people are still selling this off. So I think it's trying to race to this area of support here. Like I said, after that, hey, it's going to get pretty dicey over to 45. But so this is one that I say, hey, it's very the fundamentals are great to me. The earnings was amazing, but also these charts just look horrible. So you might have to wait for it. Just watch it. Just keep it on your radar and watch it as it starts busting out of this channel to hopefully make some new gains. But yeah, I still think apps is a really good one to look out for at least. But right now it's just really in a bad sell off over multiple months. The next one I want to look at is Fisker, and this was one, there was a bearish call out and a bullish call out over the last week, and I'm gonna go over both of them real quick. Try and do this in 15 minutes or less. I think these two I'll take some more time, but sorry, I'm trying to sip this yak real quick. Man, that VSOP is good. That's good. Anyways, Henny VSOP, I'm telling you, man, it make you feel away. But anyways, Fisker is one that I've been a fan of since like 2014. I didn't know what a Fisker was, but I heard it in Childish Gambino. And if you don't know who Childish Gambino is, he's an actor, he's a comedian, he's a writer, he's a director, he's a rapper. Amazing guy. Look him up. But basically in 2014, he had this really, I think it was on the Sweatpants song. He had this really fun lyric. It was like, "Ain't nobody sicker than my Fisker, vroom vroom." And then he's like, Fisker's gonna make noise when they start up. And I was like, what the heck is a Fisker? This is before I understood what EVs were and stuff, but I thought that was funny. Charles Gambino, he put me on that, and I started looking them up. Then I've been a fan of them. Also, so not even getting into the stock right now. If you look at Fisker's website, what I love about him, I do my due diligence in a lot of ways, not just looking at the financials. I look at the company, who they are, go to the website, look around, go to their Glassdoor, go to their Indeed, see what people are saying about the company. How many jobs are they posting recently? I want to see growth, and I want to see people saying good things. Fisker's always been a company where people say, hey, this is a great company to be a part of, but also their merch. Go to the Fisker. It's like a Yeezy season. There's actually Yeezy shoes in their promotional pictures for their shirts and hoodies and stuff. It's not Yeezy merch, but it looks damn close to Yeezy season stuff. The Fisker merch. I'm about to buy some. It's reasonably priced, I think $36 or something like that. They got a hoodie I want. They got a shirt I want. But yeah, it's some pretty good stuff there. But anyways, I've been watching Fisker for a while. Actually, this book that I read before, it's called Elon Musk. Fisker made an appearance in here, and I thought that was really funny because basically, I think Tesla, Elon Musk, we're looking for companies to help them with the new, I think, Model S sedan, and basically they went to Heinrich Fisker, I think his name is, who's pretty well known in the industry as a designer and stuff. And they went to him and they were looking for him to help them create that new version of Tesla. And they were wondering why the design for Fisker looked like shit, because he goes for Aston Martin, BMW, Mercedes. He makes sleek ass cars, and he came out with some egg device or some egg thing, and people were like, "What the fuck?" Come to find out, Fisker started his own company to rival Tesla. So I think those are just kind of anecdotal, but it was a lot of fun to me. Anyways, there was a bullish call out from Morgan Stanley. They think that we believe that FSR, this comes from Morgan Stanley, may be one of the only EV related startups to actually launch on time and ramp efficaciously. Someone correct me on that. In late 2022, I looked that up and then forgot it. They gave him a price target of $40. Right now, it's sitting at, let's call it $14. So Morgan Stanley is very bullish. But also, I think that was on Monday. I was looking at it also on Pre-Market Prep. Really good show to watch every day. Triple D, his name's Dennis Dick. He called it out on Monday as something to watch. And when he's bullish on something, it's really positive to me. It makes me pause and look into it. Anyways, he gave a really good bull thesis for it as well, talking about how it's undervalued right now. Well, then Tuesday comes around and Fisker has a share offering of it's a note offering. It's not, and this is from Twitter. Somebody responded to me because I was like, hey, what's the share price? And somebody was like, you're an idiot. It's not a share. It's a note offering. And the way he described it, it's a note offering, not a share offering. There's no price per share. They can pay back the debt after 5 years and still be no share dilution. But they do pay interest. So that's something to think about. It doesn't dilute the shares now, but it can in the future if they don't pay it on time. Anyways, Fisker is a very this is fucking speculative as hell. Don't get me wrong. It's pre-revenue. They're not making any revenue. They're launching their first Fisker Ocean, I think, in 2022 November. Shout out Scorpio season. Let's go to all my Scorpios out there. But anyways, they have a really fun catalyst coming up this November, though, is they're ramping up production this November, but also they have what they have a in the LA Auto Show. They're going to debut the Ocean, so I think which is their first sedan. So I think that's going to be fun. Like I said, the merge is cool, but anyways, I want to look at the charts real quick because I'm trying to do this really quickly. Got this Henny working on me, but anyways, so yeah, same thing as we're looking at with apps. It's in a downward, resistance. It was a descending area of resistance, so that's bullish. Sorry, bearish overall. You do see, I do think this chart looks a little bit better though than apps like in the immediate future because the sell off at the month level isn't as steep for the RSI, even though it's going down. The MACD's going down to be bearish. So like I said, watch not play. But anyways, I think this is an interesting one to watch. I like it more at the week level for a few reasons. If you see RSI, it's finally flattening out to be so RSI is going to decline and then it's going to start to even out and then hopefully then decide what it wants to do. At least right now, it seems like it's trying to decide what it wants to do because like I said, there was a very bullish and very bearish news occurrences that happened over the last week. So I think it's going to find its new footing here. But basically, what you see here, RSI is flat, MACD's flat to going down. Price action, you see this huge spike. This is the Morgan Stanley pump, basically not pump news, and then the share offer, no offering coming in and kind of bringing that more down to earth. But what I like, if you notice this area right here, let's call it 1450, let's say for fun. This has been an area of significance, and I don't like saying support and resistance when I don't know what it is. It's an area of significance to me because it's respected it going back even to starting at 928 of last year, right? Last year, yep. It's been an area where it has to think about what it's going to do. So I think it's like, and we're seeing this. Hey, this thing tried to sell off a few different weeks. These are not days; these are weeks. So for the past 4 or 5 weeks, it's butted up against this 14. So I think this is an interesting area, and where I feel comfortable getting in small. Like I said, this is a very speculative place, so I'm not going to go with 5% of my my account in here. But I'll throw in a little bit to kind of play with this area. But I have a plan. If it really goes past this line, I don't know. I'd probably sell it, honestly. But I would play with it here. You see at the day level, really hard sell off. Like I said, this thing was deciding what it wanted to do. You see Monday coming in was 8.9. I think that was Monday. Yeah, you see 8.9 coming in with that Morgan Stanley. It gaps up. And with any gap, like I said, hey, before, many people will say gaps usually want to get filled. And we saw that filled to the downside. But then again, here, it's finding this area here at this level of support or significance. So I think this is an interesting area to start looking at it again. You do see bearish volume coming in over average, but then starts to taper off. So we'll see where it opens up on Monday. RSI is definitely on the downward slope. MACD is the same way. So I think there's still a little bit more sell-off that it wants to do, but I think it's going to find some footing, hopefully around this area. And I think for me, it's going to be a really interesting area to look at into it again. So those are two that are more in the sell-off mode, but things I think I like to watch things over multiple weeks, and I like to keep an eye on things as they kind of progress. Honestly, I have a little money in apps right now, which is stupid. I was trying to catch a falling knife, but I went in with small share size, right? I didn't go in big. I had a hypothesis. It didn't work. But I'm okay with holding apps, unlike Maxar that I did like on a whim and fucked up. But anyways, I'm okay with apps because I do think the fundamentals are strong, but it's not in the trend. So I'll decide pretty soon. Am I going to keep it or am I going to sell it? But I haven't wanted to sell it. So I'm not going to average down yet. But I do have a small position in apps that I'm playing with here. But anyways, the other one's Synchrony Financial. And I was watching this for the past month. I think I have a couple of episodes already. So look at the other ones for Synchrony Financial. But what I liked is for earnings, they had a beat, and good guidance on the last earnings. I think it was about a month and a half ago. What I wanted it to do, and it actually did it. I've been riding this thing for a little bit because I saw, unlike the downward resistance level, I was seeing for this one an upward level, ascending triangle, basically an ascending channel is what I was seeing, and I saw really good earnings. I went into it. You did see a little bit here, but like if you look at the month level, this is why I like this one, right? If you look at the month level, you see no volume over average yet. RSI is going up. It's in an area, like I said, 70 or 30 or areas of possible correction, but right now it is at a level of 73. So I think we'll see some selling pressure come in a little bit for Synchrony, but that's okay as long as it holds an important area, and I'll show you what that is. MACD is also still going pretty strong, but a really strong green candle at the month level, which I'm loving that shit. And at the week level, a lot of things I like about this one. The first thing, I like to catch them when they're crossing this 10 EMA and going up. It's going to hit the top of this channel maybe, but it's holding support right now, which is good. You don't see any volume over average at the week level coming yet. I would suppose now that it broke an area of resistance or breakout area, we'll see hopefully some volume start coming in over average. I think that would be really nice to see. That's the next thing I want to see. I just haven't seen it yet. RSI at the day level, or sorry, week level, is going up. It's going up, which is good. MACD is pinching to be bullish. That's good. So at the week level, a lot to like at that. And if the day level, I'll show you a little bit. It's really cool. It's hitting the upper echelon of this channel, but that's fine. I don't expect it to break out of this channel. I expect it to hit a little bit and then retest this area of support here. But at the day level, still a lot of good stuff. I've been playing this since before it was at this channel breakout. I saw it hold this channel, which was great. I bought into it more, and then it broke back into the channel that it was in before. It was interesting though that in one day, if you see this candle here, it broke back into the channel and broke an area of resistance that it was before, which was super bullish to me. But what I want to see now is it's okay if it eases up a little bit. I'm fine with that as long as it stays over this area here of 5093, let's say, because that was a previous area of support and resistance here. Sorry, only resistance so far, a little bit of support. But you see how these three candles in the same area, as long as it stays over there, so I'm still bearish on it. But once it breaks below that, I'll probably sell it. I was in this, I scaled out. I'm only about 25% left, 25% of my original position left, because I was taking profits as it broke, as I saw. And then you know what? On Friday, I saw this doji right here. I wasn't happy about that, so I kind of sold the rest of my, another 25%. I like to sell. I try not to sell all at once. I go, out of my full position, I'll sell half my position once I get a good price target, my price target one, and then I'll sell 25 more percent. So then I'm at 75% sold, right, of my original position. And then I'll try to keep that little bit of 25% left. It's usually where you make a good amount of money there. In my experience at least. It doesn't always work out that way, but when it does, it does. And that was one. Celanese is another one that I've said before. 16 minutes. So I'll try to wrap this up pretty quickly. I've already talked about this before. It was the same one I was watching with Synchrony. They were in the same earnings week for me. I like them because they had really good earnings per share and revenue increases estimated. They blew things out of the water. They're both really good dividend stocks, in my opinion. But also, similar to Synchrony, it was in an upward channel with good earnings coming in. So I love that. It was at the bottom of the channel. At the month level, hey, Celanese looks better than Synchrony to me. You see RSI still coming up. MACD is bullish as hell going up. And you see it breaking back. And this is what I wanted to wait for. I should have bought it here. I saw it last week, or a couple weeks ago. I didn't actually do it because I was fighting a different one. But basically, it was in this channel. I wanted to break back into this channel, which it did. At the month level, looking really bullish to me, honestly. It had to retest its 10 EMA. That's fine. It used it as support. Double bottom here to bounce up from there. At the week level, still looking good. Honestly, this is perfect to me. This is a perfect setup to me because you're breaking back into a channel that you were in before, but you got shook out of, right? So as long as it holds into this channel, and then I want to see what it's going to do at this level. I have alert here. Let's call it 169.17. I want to see it test this area and see what it's going to do. Honestly, not a bad week to get into it. I would think as long as it holds this upward channel is already broken into, right? You do see RSI, it cooled off to 47 at the week level. It's coming back strong here at like 60, let's call it 63. So RSI is coming up. MACD's coming up. At the week level, those are super important. And you see a really strong green candle breaking back into this area at the week level. Like I said, another good dividend stock to me, right? I've been playing this basically since it broke back. But I bought this basically, probably 617. That's about right, about a month or two ago. Yeah, basically, been playing with this, been watching it. And I was betting that the earnings, it wasn't too overvalued and it was going to bust back in. But this is exactly what I wanted to actually sold this early, too early actually. But this is exactly what I wanted to see here. You see a sell-off, it looks bad. But as long as it keeps this area and I have an alert here, if it breaks under this, alert me. But basically, I want to see it retest the bottom of this channel to then buy it at a really good price point and then hopefully ride up the channel. If it breaks below it, also have a plan for that though. But at the week level, at the day level, it does look like it wants to sell off, right? You see it kind of rounding up at the price action to retest this area of channel. You see, a couple days of bearish volume coming in. You see RSI kind of going down. You see MACD, being more meanderer down the road. But I think Celanese is going to be a really good one. This is one that I would invest in and hold for a while because the earnings are just great. I looked up their Glassdoor and LinkedIn; those are great. So I think you do a lot of background due diligence for companies. They're big into diversity, inclusion, which is important to me, and that's cool. But anyways, those are my 4 for the week. I'm going to wrap it up because I'm already at 20 minutes. Apps, I just think that they're just not their fundamentals are great from what I can see, but their technicals are horrible. But something to watch on the NFC play. Fisker, ain't nobody sicker than Fisker. Childish Gambino, shout out. Synchrony, if he's bullish on him, I'm bullish on him. Synchrony Financial, this is and Celanese, my two that just trying to play the channel. They had great earnings, great companies. Synchrony, it's in the you can say what you want about credit companies. That's what it is. But it's not a bad company if you look up the Glassdoor. People say good things about it. But those are my four. I hope everyone has a great trading week. Some cool earnings coming out for retail. I'm probably not going to play those because when I looked at all the earnings coming up next week, either things were too far extended, or they, so like the price action had already went up, or they were just in industries that aren't catching a bid right now. So I kind of want to save my money, and I still think there's a possible market correction coming. We haven't seen a really big 5% correction since like last year. Probably this time last year, if it even went to 5%. So I'm trying to hold some close to the pocket, trying to go in smaller cap you will style. Everyone have a great week. Good luck and peace.